kepadaku, Aziza.
Warning. If you're watching this alone, turn off the lights. Because in Qodrat 2, darkness is not just around you, it's inside. Demons roam the villages, their vengeance fueled by ancient grudges. A father fights for his son, his wife, and the very soul of his village. But the evil he faces, Asabala and Jaduk, are more cunning, more ruthless, and more terrifying than ever before. Whispers of black magic, shadows moving in the night, the screams of the possessed echo through the factories, forests, and homes. Qodrat must confront them, or lose everything to the darkness. Are you ready to witness the horror? Have you ever felt a presence in a place where no one should be? A mother's cry echoes through empty halls, and somewhere, unseen forces are waiting, watching. Tonight, we uncover the terrifying story of Qodrat 2, based on true events, where grief becomes a gateway and the shadows are not empty. Alif al-Fatana is gone, vanished, and now the darkness has set its eyes on Aziza. After the heartbreak of losing her child, Aziza struggles to find peace. She leaves the hospital, seeking a new beginning at a textile factory. But the factory holds secrets darker than any machine. Workers whisper of strange deaths, unexplainable accidents, and some claim the owners practice pesugion, ancient Javanese black magic. At first, it seems like mere superstition, until the possessions begin. One by one, the employees fall under a force they cannot resist, and Qodrat must face an enemy far beyond human comprehension. The factory becomes a battlefield, where the living and the unseen collide. In the beginning, we return to the moment that started it all. To understand what truly happened to Qodrat, we must first step into the darkness of his home. Aziza lies quietly on her bed. The night is still, silent. And then something enters the room, a presence. A shadow. No, not a shadow. A creature. It stands above her, its breath heavy, hot. Its voice whispers, deep and cold. You belong to me. Aziza freezes. The demon's hand slides across her skin, not in violence, but in temptation, seductive, poisonous. She cannot scream. She cannot move. And as this creature claims her, somewhere else, in another room, Qodrat is performing an exorcism. His son, Alif, possessed by Asabala, the ancient demon. Two worlds, one fight. A father battling to save his son, while a mother is being marked by evil itself. The creature reveals its name, Jadug, the king of Jinn, the one who commands Asabala and all his kind. He leans close and whispers, "Your child's life is mine. I will take him to the fire unless you serve me." Aziza's tears fall. Her voice cracks. She feels her body tremble. A thin stream of blood trails down her wrist, but she ignores the pain. She runs, breaks open the door, and sees Qodrat struggling to drive out the demon from their son. It's chaos, the air thick with prayers and screams. The child writhes, eyes black, voice distorted. The same scene we saw in Qodrat 1, but now from her eyes. And then Jadug appears again, unseen by Qodrat, hovering behind her. His words echo in her mind. Choose, Aziza. Your soul or your son. The world stops. The candles flicker. Even the air forgets to move. And with trembling lips, she whispers, "Take me. Let my son go." A silence falls. The room grows cold. And as Qodrat screams the final verses, Alif's body becomes still. Aziza is gone. But then Jadug shows his true face. He never meant to keep his promise. The demon wraps his hands around the boy's neck, and with a single brutal twist, Alif is gone. The room falls silent. The same moment we saw in Qodrat 1, the death of his son. Only now we know it wasn't Qodrat's failure. It was his wife's desperate deal, a deal with the devil himself. Because demons, they lie. They always lie, and this one had already won. He took Aziza's soul, chained it to his darkness, and left her hollow, broken beyond words. Inside, she blames herself. Every scream, every prayer, every tear, she carries it like a curse. And as the past fades, we see glimpses of what came after. Qodrat, imprisoned for 3 long years, haunted by the night he lost his son. The world believed it was his sin, but he knew something far worse had taken place. Now free, he searches for answers. What really happened to his wife? Is she dead or trapped somewhere between heaven and hell? The story begins again, with Qodrat walking through the mist toward a small, forgotten village. There lives Master Kyayi, a man of old wisdom and faith, the only one who might understand the evil that destroyed his home. As he steps into the village, the wind whispers a name, Aziza, and Qodrat knows the shadows haven't let her go. While Qodrat served his sentence behind cold prison walls, letters began to arrive. Each one carried a trace of pain, written by the trembling hand of Aziza. She sent them to Master Kyayi, the only man she still trusted, and through him, Qodrat learned pieces of her broken soul. In her first letter, she confessed her sin. She begged for forgiveness for what she had done, for the deal she made with the darkness. Every night she wrote, and every morning she prayed, but her prayers were hollow, because deep inside she knew her faith had already died the moment she whispered yes to the demon. Aziza was no longer the same woman. Her mind fractured under the weight of guilt. Doctors said she was insane, locked her inside a mental hospital, but no medicine could cure a soul that had been touched by hell. Still, hope flickered once more when she heard that Qodrat would soon be free. For a brief moment, she smiled again. She wanted to see him, to beg him one last time for mercy. But that night, something changed inside the hospital. The warden began to scream, slamming his head against the wall, beating the other patients with inhuman rage. His eyes turned black. He wasn't himself anymore. It was Asubala, the same demon that had taken their son, now controlling the man who guarded the gate. The walls echoed with madness, chains rattled, doors slammed open. Aziza tried to run, but as she turned, the demon's voice returned. Now it's your turn. She froze. Her heart stopped for a second, and when she stepped into the hall, she saw it, Qodrat, hanging by the neck, still, silent, as if life had left him hours ago. The warden stood beside him, laughing, his laughter deep, distorted, not human anymore. Aziza fell to her knees, screaming his name, and in that echo, the truth became clear. The man who killed her son was now the same one who had been possessed to destroy her husband. After everything that happened, confusion surrounded every piece of this story. In the first part, we saw Usubala. Now, we hear about the magic, but what's really going on? This time, the story unfolds through Aziza's eyes, and no matter how twisted it seems, one thing is clear. A dangerous demon was behind all of it. Aziza believed her husband was dead, but we know he came back. His faith, his soul, restored by the Almighty himself. But Aziza didn't know that, and when she saw what she saw, she broke. Now, the scene shifts to the present. Qodrat returns to his old hometown, to the house where his memories still live, his wife, his child, their photographs on the wall. He stands there, drowning in silence, feeling the weight of every unanswered question. What really happened to Aziza? Did she die, or did something far darker claim her soul? He opens another letter, a letter written long ago, where Aziza confessed how her heart shattered when she heard of Qodrat's death. But the story doesn't end there. One day, two sisters, Morni and Pravanti, came to visit her. They were her closest friends. They took her in, gave her work in an old, silent factory, a place filled with shadows and whispers. For a while, Aziza tried to live again. She learned their work. She smiled again, maybe even hoped again. But one night, during the night shift, Morni never came back. She was found dead, and that night, everything changed. The walls began to speak. The air felt heavy, and Aziza knew the same darkness that destroyed her family had followed her here. Now Qodrat walks toward that same factory, its gates rusted, its machines long silent, hoping to find the truth about his wife's fate. But what he's about to uncover is not the story of her death. It's the story of how the curse never really ended.
Ini satu cerita apa yang terjadi dengan Aziza.
And then we see someone else, a girl named Shri. She works in the same factory, the same cursed place. That night, she goes to take a shower, but as the water runs, she hears something. A voice, a deep, hollow whisper, echoing from behind her. Her heart stops. She turns around, and there it is, the demon, standing in the shadows, watching her. Shri runs. She runs to another bathroom and locks herself inside. But the shower inside is already running. She looks up, and what drips from the shower head is not water. It's blood. Thick, warm blood pouring down on her face. She screams, but suddenly everything stops. It was a nightmare, a dream. Shri wakes up trembling in her bed. Her friend holds her, trying to calm her down. Among them is Aziza. Yes, Aziza. She's still alive. She didn't die. But the horror around her never left. Moments later, the security chief storms in. He grabs Shri by the arm, forcing her to come with him. He says the manager wants to see her, that there's some issue with her work report. But the way he drags her, the way his eyes burn with something darker, it's clear this isn't about any report. Purvanti tries to stop him, but he shoves her away hard. He locks all the women inside the dormitory until morning. No one can leave. No one can even speak. You see, the women who work here, they live here too. They eat, sleep, and work inside this factory. It's not a workplace. It's a trap. Aziza wants to escape, but something inside her stops her. Maybe it's guilt, maybe it's punishment, or maybe she knows she deserves this torment. And that night, the security chief throws her inside a small shelter beside the machine room and locks the door tight behind her. The lights flicker, the machines hum, as if something dark has awakened again. And from the other side of the door, a whisper returns, the same whisper that started it all. Meanwhile, on the other side of the factory, Purvanti starts searching through Shri's bag. The others look at her confused. They ask, "What are you doing?" She takes a deep breath and says softly, "After Murni's death, the guards found something inside her bag." She slowly pulls out an old folded cloth, a shroud. On it, strange Arabic inscriptions and unknown symbols burned into the fabric. It wasn't ordinary cloth. It was the devil's note. Purvanti whispers, "This proves something. Inside this factory, sacrifices are happening. Human sacrifice." The others freeze, their faces pale. She continues, "These symbols, these items, they were taken from the bodies of the dead. Whoever runs this place worships Satan. And we're the offerings." Fear fills the air, but it's already too late, because somewhere, deep inside the factory, a ritual has begun. We see Shri, alone in the mechanical hall, when suddenly a dark figure appears, a demonic sorcerer. His eyes glow red, his hands moving in strange patterns, chanting words that twist the air itself. The walls tremble, the lights flicker. Shri tries to scream, but her voice is gone. She's trapped. The sorcerer whispers something in an ancient tongue, and her body starts moving against her will. Her eyes go blank, and she walks straight into the giant machine. The sound of metal, the smell of blood, and then silence.
The sacrifice is complete, but the dark energy doesn't fade. It spreads. Because that same demonic power has now reached Aziza. Later, Aziza finds another shroud inside her own belongings. The same symbols, the same cursed markings. She looks at it in horror, then shows it to Pravanti. Together, they realize what it means. The next offering is her. Panicked, they burn the shroud, but as the fire rises, the factory's lights flicker once again. Something ancient wicks up, and outside we see Qodrat. He's finally arrived near the factory. He stops, prays his evening prayer, and as he finishes, he hears screams echoing from within the walls. He rushes in and sees a group of guards tormenting a man. Without hesitation, Qodrat steps forward. They try to stop him, but he's not the same man anymore. He moves like lightning. One strike, another. 2 guards fall to the ground. The others run. Qodrat stands still, breathing heavy, eyes burning with purpose. Because he knows now, whatever evil hides inside that factory, it's waiting for him. And this time, he's ready to face it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the factory, Pravanti starts searching through Shree's bag. The others look at her confused. They ask her, "What are you doing?" She takes a deep breath and says softly, "After Murney's death, the guards found something inside her bag." She slowly pulls out an old folded cloth, a shroud. On it, strange Arabic inscriptions and unknown symbols burned into the fabric. It wasn't ordinary cloth. It was the Devil's Note. Pravanti whispers, "This proves something. Inside this factory, sacrifices are happening. Human sacrifices." The others freeze, their faces pale. She continues, "These symbols, these items, they were taken from the bodies of the dead. Whoever runs this place worships Satan. And we're the offerings." Fear fills the air, but it's already too late. Because somewhere deep inside the factory, a ritual has begun. We see Shree, alone in the mechanical hall, when suddenly a dark figure appears. A demonic sorcerer. His eyes glow red, his hands moving in strange patterns, chanting words that twist the air itself. The walls tremble, the lights flicker. Shree tries to scream, but her voice is gone. She's trapped. The sorcerer whispers something in an ancient tongue, and her body starts moving against her will. Her eyes go blank, and she walks straight into the giant machine. The sound of metal, the smell of blood, and then silence. The sacrifice is complete. But the dark energy doesn't fade, it spreads. Because that same demonic power has now reached Aziza. Meanwhile, inside the factory office, the owner sits quietly. By his side stands his right-hand man, loyal and silent. The guards sent to spy on Qodrat return. They report, "The man, he's here for his wife." The owner's eyes narrow. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't need to know her name. No blackmail required, because he knows there's something else hidden. A secret kept with Sukardi. Something tied to black magic, far darker than anyone imagines. Outside, we see Sukardi and Qodrat riding a truck towards the factory. Sukardi lights a cigarette. The smoke curls through the air, irritating Qodrat. "Drive," Qodrat snaps. But Sukardi ignores him, heading in the wrong direction. Qodrat's heart skips a beat. He realizes the truth. Sukardi is possessed. He acts fast, beginning an exorcism right there on the moving truck. The demon inside struggles, resisting, but finally it speaks its name with a hiss, Shekban. Qodrat presses. "Who sent you? What is your purpose?"
Shakban's voice is heavy, cruel. I was sent by magic. My purpose is to mislead humanity, to pull them away from their faith, to corrupt their souls. The exorcism continues, but the truck swerves violently. A sudden jolt throws Qodrat off balance. His shoulder dislocates. Pain shoots through him. But Qodrat grits his teeth. He fixes his shoulder himself, standing strong against the demon's fury. With faith and force, he drives the exorcism to its climax. Shakban screams, but finally, the demon is gone. Sukardi collapses, breathing heavily. His eyes return to normal, conscious, alive. And in that moment, Qodrat knows the fight has only begun. Before moving forward, Qodrat notices something in Sukardi's cigarette pack. Inside, an amulet. It was the very object that had allowed Shakban to possess Sukardi, a trap planted by the factory owner, intended to control and manipulate. But Qodrat had saved Sukardi. The owner had no idea that another skilled exorcist was here, and now the balance of power had shifted. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of the factory, Pravanti and Aziza talk in hushed tones. Aziza urges, "We should find jobs somewhere else, far from here." But Pravanti shakes her head. "No, I want to expose this factory. We can't run anymore." Aziza nods, agreeing. She asks, "How? Where do we start?" Pravanti points to an abandoned building behind the factory. The owner and his men gather there. From there, we can watch, listen, and find out everything. Silently they move. Step by step, they approach the building, slipping inside without being noticed. At the same time, Qodrat and Sukardi move forward. Sukardi distracts the guards. Qodrat hides beneath a truck, then strikes, taking down any guard in his path. The way is clear, and they advance silently. Inside the abandoned building, Aziza and Pravanti hear a voice. A magical demon is praying, speaking to something dark and ancient. "I will give you wealth and power," the voice promises, "if you offer me human sacrifices." Pravanti's suspicions are confirmed. They peek further and see the ritual. Fear grips them. They run. The owner hears their footsteps. Guards chase them. During the escape, Aziza twists her ankle. She urges Pravanti to go on without her. But Pravanti hesitates, unwilling to leave her friend. But Aziza insists, pushing her forward. Pravanti runs. Alone, Aziza moves slowly, wincing in pain, when suddenly, a familiar figure blocks her path. It's Qodrat. She freezes for a moment, then sees the impossible. Her husband, alive. Aziza's eyes widen. Shock, then relief. Tears form. Qodrat smiles softly, his eyes full of love and reassurance. Seeing her alive, he knows they still have a chance. And for the first time in a long while, hope pierces through the darkness.
Guilt weighed heavily on her, just as the villains emerged from the shadows. They had come for Qodrat, but he moved swiftly, fighting them off and pulling Aziza to safety. Together, they returned to the factory, moving through its dark, echoing corridors. Once alone, Qodrat tends to Aziza's injured ankle, carefully bandaging it. Aziza looks at him, her voice trembling. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw you fall in front of me." Qodrat's eyes meet hers, steady and unwavering. "It's true," he says quietly. "Every bit of it. The ones who wanted me dead, they tried to take me, but someone above had a plan for me. They saved me. They returned my soul. They gave me a chance." Aziza lowers her gaze. "But for what you've done, I don't want a second chance for you." Qodrat's expression softens. "Only the one above, the most merciful, can grant forgiveness, and he will forgive you." Her shoulders shake as she confesses the truth. "For our son, Alif's life, I sought help from the demon to keep him safe." Qodrat nods slowly, understanding. Forgiveness comes from the Most High. Everyone makes mistakes, even you. Meanwhile, Pravanti rushes to the remaining workers. She informs them that Aziza is in trouble. The group quickly organizes, preparing to intervene.
But inside the factory, the owner had already noticed. He knew Qodrat had returned. He had followed every detail from Aziza's life. Without warning, he captures them both. Aziza is bound, and Qodrat is restrained in a chair. The owner leans in, sneering, "Master, if you couldn't even save your own son, what makes you think you can save her?" Qodrat's eyes flash with anger. He wants to strike, but his hands are tied, powerless for now. And in that moment, the factory feels colder, darker, and the air thick with dread. And the shadows seem to whisper, "This is far from over." Suddenly, a phone rings. It's the factory owner's right-hand man informing him of the chaos. All the women had started protesting because of Aziza. He warns, magic must be used quickly. The owner's eyes narrow. Without hesitation, he stamps his authority over Qodrat and calls forth the sorcerer demon. Meanwhile, the demon is already near Aziza, attempting to control her. She is forced toward a machine, her face inches from the grinding gears. But just in time, Qodrat arrives. He moves swiftly, breaking her free. His faith shields them both. Elsewhere, the guards attempt to control the protesting women. The owner prays, drawing dark energy from his spell, and suddenly every woman is possessed simultaneously. The possessed women turn violent, attacking anyone in their path. Among them, Sukardi fights desperately, unaware that all the women have been taken over. At that moment, Qodrat and Aziza arrive. Step by step, Qodrat begins the exorcism, lifting the darkness from each woman one by one. From a distance, the demon watches, manipulating the chaos, but Qodrat's unwavering faith gradually overcomes it. Finally, the demon's control crumbles. The owner's plan collapses. The right-hand man tries to escape, but Sukardi and Pravanti intercept him. A fierce, drawn-out battle ensues. In the end, Qodrat overpowers the owner, ending his reign of terror. Qodrat and Aziza return home, the air heavy but calm. It seems as if the nightmare is over, but peace is fleeting. At home, Aziza turns to Qodrat, her voice trembling. "Will the one above forgive me?" Qodrat nods gently. "Pray, seek forgiveness from the most merciful. Only he can grant it." Aziza kneels. Qodrat watches silently, faithful and steadfast, as the weight of the past begins to lift. Yet, somewhere in the shadows, a twist still awaits. Because in this world, evil never truly rests. Aziza begins to pray, her voice trembling but sincere. Suddenly, a strange, sinister laugh echoes around her. The demon's magic had never left. It still controlled her, its dark grip tightening around her soul. Qodrat realizes the truth and rushes to intervene, but the demon, using Aziza as its vessel, blocks him. A chilling voice rises, threatening Qodrat. "If you interfere, I will drag Aziza to hell." And with that, the demon manipulates him further, forcing him to unknowingly move towards Asubala. But Qodrat's intent is pure. He does nothing against Asubala, only praying silently, as his wife prays too. With every whispered prayer, the dark energy weakens. Asubala, the original demon, falters, its power diminishing under the light of their faith. Even Jaduk, the demon's right-hand disciple, weakens. He had been serving Asubala all along. Then, Asubala exerts its last display of power. Furniture levitates, flying across the room, sharpened objects hurled toward Qodrat. But at that moment, Aziza intervenes, shielding him. Her sacrifice is total. The demon strikes her, leaving her on the brink of death. Before vanishing, the demon whispers, "I will test everything you love. Your village, everyone you cherish, will face the journey of my wrath." The darkness recedes. The immediate threat is gone. Aziza lies broken, close to death. It seems this was the will of the one above. In her final moments, she asks, "Was I worthy of love?" Qodrat leans close, voice steady yet tender. "Yes, you were always worthy." He guides her in prayer as her life slips away. Her final breath is serene, her soul carried gently beyond the shadows. The scene shifts. Qodrat buries Aziza outside their home. A silent grief hangs heavy in the air, but far away, in Qodrat's village, The two dark demons, Asubala and Jaduk, have arrived. The people sense a chilling presence, an omen that their worst nightmares are yet to unfold. The calm is only temporary. The true horror has only just begun.
Meanwhile, the demon has arrived at Olive's home. The child in the wheelchair, the same one from the first movie, saved by Qodrat, is now in danger again. We see Yasmin, noticing Asha is missing from the house. She searches desperately, only to find Asha held captive elsewhere. The greatest twist unfolds. Olive is also trapped there. The child at Yasmin's house was not Olive at all. It was the demon, Asu, taking its true form, attacking Olive's mother with vicious intent. Meanwhile, Qodrat advances toward his village, determined to save everyone. This sets the stage for Qodrat 3, because now the village itself is under threat. Asu still burns with vengeance, having lost once to Qodrat, and having lost his disciple as well. The question now remains, how will Qodrat confront this dual threat? Both Asubala and Jaduk are uniting to hunt the village, their power overwhelming, and Qodrat's faith, his love, and his courage will be tested like never before. The demon can even manipulate Qodrat's memories of his wife's suffering, using pain as a weapon against him. This story is packed with action, suspense, and terrifying stakes. Every moment keeps you on the edge, wondering how Qodrat will protect his loved ones, and whether the village can survive the wrath of Asubala and Jaduk. So friends, this is the full tale of Qodrat 2. Its sequel, Qodrat 3, is inevitable, because Asu's thirst for revenge has only grown, and the ultimate showdown is yet to come. Prepare yourself, because the battle against darkness is far from over. So here's the reality. The demons still harbor deep hatred for Qodrat. They are determined to conquer his village, to strike back at him, and reclaim what they lost. How will Qodrat save everyone? How will he face this relentless evil? We will find out in part 3. There may even be another twist. Perhaps Aziza has made another pact. But for now, this concludes the story of Qodrat 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to stay updated for more chilling stories. The battle against darkness isn't over, and the next chapter is coming soon.